welcome everybody, and please help me welcome internationally renowned spiritual teacher, channel, psychic medium, speaker, author, and universal strategist, Kim Eibrink Jansen. Known for her profound access to universal intelligence and knowledge via spiritual messages, she offers rare insights into humanity's evolutionary path, why we're here, where we're going, and how to align with the natural laws that govern all life. With an extraordinary ability to read the unseen and decode what's truly needed, she serves as a direct conduit for divine wisdom, higher guidance, and multidimensional intelligence. So welcome to our monthly exclusive call on She the Mighty. Ladies, say hello to Kim Jansen.
Hi, Kim.
Hello, ladies. So lovely to see you. And I'm super excited to connect with you and to see what wants to come through for today.
Yes. Amazing. So I'm going to start off the top of the call just with one question that we have been having kind of ruminating through us almost all summer. With us working to change the experience and the results that female entrepreneurs have access to, and that not only means the mentorship that they have access to, the type of community that they have access to, the type of training they have access to, and then also access to money through our nonprofit that we've opened up, She the Future. What a huge mountain that is to climb, that we're working to really make a difference and to create a different pathway forward that hasn't existed before. What do you see that can help us? What do you see that we need to focus on, or where we'll make the most progress towards achieving these goals? Is there something we're missing? Is there an instant hit on do this now? Are there any messages, or are there any of our sisters that are from history that we're working to advocate for women and rights and things of that nature that might be part of the spiritual team that we have access to, that would have instruction or messages for us to help us navigate She the Mighty?
Yeah. I will start with, and the thing that's coming through from your question, which is a fantastic question, and you could probably gauge that question is kind of a universal question that you could actually use for a lot of different areas in your life as well. What should we be doing? What is coming for the future? I mean, it's a perfect question for me because I know all this information. The most important thing that we need to know, and I just want you guys, as I'm speaking, to use your gut to process this, because your head will not be able to process it for a little while. So use your gut to process it. Is that where we're going to is very different to how things look now. So everything that we've learnt till now, we can pretty much just throw that away, because we're stepping into what I call the new, which is a totally different life experience to any incarnations we've ever had before. And so when we're stepping into this new, I love how you use the word focus, Michelle, because it's like focus is really important for our mind-wandering brains. We need to have a focus. Now, when we look at the new, and if I say we're allowed to leave everything that we know behind and we're stepping into something completely different, something brand new, you can feel within yourself that feels kind of exciting. It's like something different is going to be happening. Something new is happening. And it's like, okay, so what is that? Now, I'm going to tell you with the information that we get, and this is kind of cool that we can catch up every month because I can share new information every month, is that because it's brand new information and coming from, let's just call it a different consciousness each time, our current consciousness sometimes can't comprehend what the information is that we need to know for what we're moving into. It's like saying to someone in the 80s that we use mobile phones as computers in our hands. And you go, what? And I think the biggest question is the hows come through. Like, how does that work? And how does that work? And what do we do? And it's like, the biggest focus that you can have is things are going to be brand new moving forward. Can you see how it opens something up within you, but you don't need to question it? Can you see how you don't feel like questioning it? You're just ready to experience it.
Yeah.
See how that's different to let me know? Because that's where you're actually connecting to the knowing that does know, but your head does not know. But something inside you does know. And those feelings, you can't actually deny those feelings that you have. When you say, I'm stepping into this brand new experience in business, you know, in everything really, because we're all transforming into these new areas. So for focus, I want everyone to take on board that the focus is that there's something new coming and to get excited about it. And I'm burping, which means I'm clearing energy for people. So, so then we go, oh, come on, we need a little bit more. Come on, you can give us a little bit more of what this new looks like. And so this is where it's like, okay, so the current consciousness can only comprehend that through feeling that this is what the new looks like, is that yes, we're moving into the new, but also when we go into, but how do we go into the new? Can you see how you then feel flat again? Like, oh, that feels heavy, or I need to work this out, or I need to plan it, or I need to fix it, and that doesn't feel good. That's actually saying that that's not what we need to do. So then what do we do? And it comes into, again, like, and I've written down a little bit of a process, which is really helpful, again, in all areas of our life, is the first step is being. It's really hard to understand what being is if you've not been in being. But again, what happens when we're in being is that we're actually working with the quantum and the universe. So in being, it's like, because we've all been brought up with, don't just sit there and do nothing. You've got to do something. You've got to be proactive. You've got to, but when it comes to being, it looks like doing nothing. But what it actually is connecting to the everything, which is very cool. Yeah. So when you're in the being, it's being present. And what happens also is you're bringing all your energy from the past and the future. So again, anything from the past just like is left in the past, and you have all your energy here. But any kind of forward planning or thinking that about the future also comes back to the now. So you've actually got your full energy to be able to deal with anything that's happening in the now. So you won't ever feel tired, unmotivated, procrastinating, you know, all that sort of thing when you're in this present moment in the being. So I'm not sure if anyone's had any experience in playing in the quantum, but I'll just explain a little bit more. When you're in the being, you're playing in the quantum and actually working directly with the universe. So then the next step is you are then in the being. All you need to do is just breathe when you're being here. Now you can imagine, and we can just do a little practice. If you're just sitting here and you're just being here, it's really challenging just for a little minute to do that, because our head goes, but I should be doing something. But if we just stay in our being and breathe, what actually happens is you start to notice something is opening up within you, which is it's not a thinking, it's like a inner momentum that kicks in, and you will literally move without thinking if you just stop in being. So then there's this process of being and breathing. Then the next one is listening. So when you're being here, you're not in thinking, you're actually just listening and breathing. And what happens is you'll feel this inner urge to do something, or you will receive information, an idea, download, message, or whatever, to give you insights as to what to do next. And then the last thing is the doing. You just do that. Now, that sounds really easy, right? The thing is that when we go into, but don't we have to plan? Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I look at my life, I didn't plan half the things that happened. Did you? Did you guys ever plan half the things that happen in your life? It's like you can plan to a bit of a point, but what happens is that when we plan things, we're actually planning from our current consciousness. But when we're moving into the new, our consciousness is going to be changing really quickly. So already it's old, the plans that we make right now. So this is where that whole process of being, breathing, listening, and doing takes you on those next steps. And then what happens is that when you take this next step, then another one unfolds for the next one, and then another one unfolds for the next one. Has anyone read The Surrender Experiment?
No.
Please put that on your list to read. It's literally a man who lived this way. But he ran literally multi-million-dollar businesses from a place of just wanting to meditate all day. And what happens is, again, when you're in this being, you become the magnet for things to come. So he literally his goal was to meditate all day in the middle of the woods with nothing around him. All of a sudden, this crazy life unfolds. And
Okay,
it's like,
we'll
wow.
get the name of that book and we'll post it and we'll publish it with the replays. And I'm super excited.
It's a great example. It's a very good example. And it's like, it's Michael Singer, and Michael Singer wrote this in the 80s. So it's like not new work. It's very cool. And also, a lot of people have read The Surrender Experiment, but they actually say, well, I'm a busy mom, or I've got a business and everything else. I can't do that. And this is where, with this process that I've received from the universe is that this is how you do it and still get things done, like, again, life. Still live life. Because you can see that there's, like, in your life, there's just the general things that you need to do. You wake up, you brush your teeth, you have a shower, you make dinner, all those general things. But with the other things, what you can do is, again, do what I call being inspired. So it's inspired doing and inspired life, where you don't have to sit down and plan it. The life actually comes to you and gives you all these magical experiences that you could have never planned.
Yeah. Okay. So I have actually experienced that. So just for an example, I think last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, I'm a big thrifter. I was out shopping at one of my good thrift stores that I enjoy going to. Finally, just started chatting with the owner. She finds out that I'm a seamstress, stylist, and now all of a sudden, I didn't plan it, but I am collaborating with her now. And I'm going to be doing, grad dresses, whatever needs done for the young ladies, or she works with the women's shelter as well. So here I am now, involved in this area that it just happened.
What a fabulous example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
like, could you imagine if you sat down and tried to plan that?
Yeah, I would be scared to death to ask somebody, hey, can I, collaborate with you,
Yeah.
But,
and I do welcome any questions from anyone else who goes, okay, well, that all sounds great, Kim, but how do I incorporate this into my life? And this is my life. You know what I mean? Like, because everyone's got different lives. But it is good to look at, because some people can't, like, they look at this process and say, I don't know how to bring this into my day. I don't know how to make my business successful by using this. So if anyone, either in this call or even afterwards says, I don't understand, like, use me and I'll channel the information to give you more information as to how you can use it. So, but it is a really magical way to live, and you can actually adopt it into not only business, but all other areas of your life. And you think about when you think about business, you've got your basic business operations, which is emails, messages, all those kind of things that you don't have to think about. You just naturally do these things, right? But anything else, you can use what I call the inspired business, which is allowing the things to come to you. And the things, they'll just pop into your head like an idea. Oh, and then you say, oh, I'm doing this next. And then I'm doing this next. And what happens is that when you use that flow of working with the universe, because the universe works in flow, like, that's literally how it works. When we work against the universe, we're working against the universal flow, and life feels and gets hard. So when we're working with the universe and in what I call the quantum, what happens is it all gets set up for you along the pathway. And so, and I don't know, like, there's so many stories that I could probably even pop into the group and share, like, all the cool stories of how people have actually lived this way and all the magical experiences that happen literally just by following what we call the little breadcrumbs, or, the little nudges. And so it's really cool to, like, be in what I call the nothing, being in this place where it's just peace and calm, because again, if you're not thinking, everything is peaceful. I think I've talked about that before. Thinking is the thing that creates anxiety and all the other feels that just don't feel good. As soon as you, and I'll repeat this, as soon as you don't feel good, know it's just a thought that is old. And so you can literally just say no thoughts over and over and breathe, and then that will just disappear into the past, and then you're back into being and you're peaceful and calm again. And so that tells me again, like, we have control over our feelings and our thoughts simply by being in the present moment, and just being aware of thoughts. We don't have to get rid of them. We can just literally say that then if they're not feeling good, then they're not required right now. They're not part of this pathway. And so you start to find the little nuggets that come up, and you go along the pathway, they'll have no feeling. Like, it's not that you feel excited, because again, remember, you don't know what you don't know. But the interaction with that person, and then that person interacting with another person, and then this TV ad goes to that conversation, and it just goes along. And then you look back and go, oh my God, how did that unfold? That divine unfolding of a life, which you could never ever plan. Now, I'm an ex-wedding planner, so I'm all for planning, and I used to love planning. But about 3 or 4 years ago, the universe just said, no, like, we can't do things that way, because it's coming from a place of I need to control, but it's also coming from a subconscious place of I don't have control, which then makes you then go into I need to have control. The universe will then only respond to the I don't have control, and then you'll see more situations where you don't have control. Whereas when you follow this universal flow, you're working in conjunction with the universe and trusting the flow, which is such a cliche phrase, right? Trusting the flow. But you can actually live in the flow, and it will naturally all unfold. But you know what? The best part of living this way, an inspired life and having an inspired business, is that when it all unfolds, it is miraculous and magical and actually really, really fun. And you get to meet amazing people that you probably wouldn't have met before, had experiences that you would never have had before. And so the more you have, like Pam, you said, like, I've had that experience. Once you've had that experience, you can't unsee that. And so that becomes like your anchor and your focus to more of that. And you do need to have a focus, otherwise the mind will go rogue and go back into the past files of what you think you know rather than what you do know, which is we're stepping into the new, and we could never plan that.
Can I share something, Kim?
Yes.
This is actually, I had an experience in 2006, which was a Kundalini awakening. And I stayed in that awakening for a month, and it shifted my entire life. And I've been living in a state of surrender ever since. But my faith has been tested recently, and I followed the breadcrumbs. And yes. I just wanted to share with everybody here, I live in this state of surrender. This is how I live my life. And being on the call today is part of that surrender, because my faith is being tested recently. And I had a consultation with the work that I do the other day, and there was some elements that weren't lining up, but I said, I'm supposed to go and still do this, knowing that something was going to unfold. Turns out the woman, she speaks light language, and we had our session, and then she said, I want to, speak light language. We had that session this afternoon. It opened up the portal, and then I looked at my calendar, and I'm like, I'm supposed to see this Kim person tonight as well. So it's just unfolding. There's like, but what's happening is that it's the faith. This being on this call is it's the reminder that,
yes,
what's been happening in the last couple of days. I've been listening and feeling the energies coming in, and I'm like, there's something around faith that needs to, and so this is just another confirmation from the universe saying,
Oh,
so thank you.
That. No, thank you for, again, you can see, and this is where, again, the collective will come together. You'll find that, the people who get this and are having these experiences and working together in these areas we'll all be doing the same thing and we'll all be speaking the same language. And I say speaking the same language, sometimes the language won't make sense.
Right.
But we get it.
We get it.
And so this is where
sometimes, you know, the faith.
It is. It's only hard if you go into thinking.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Thinking has evolved. So our thinking minds have evolved from. So it's like, if you can just look at it like your mind is a computer, which technically it is for your body, right? So your mind's a computer. Now, the way that we've always used the mind is the same as how we used to use. Remember those old clunky computers where there was no such thing as the internet, and if you wanted to put something in it, you had to like use a disk or whatever. But in most cases, we would be using our files in there. We would be updating the files and then just reusing those and whatever. And that was okay for a while. But what we were finding is that we wanted new information to come into the computer. And the only way to do that is to put it in there, right? So then the internet came along. Now we had dial-up, which was always fun, wasn't it? And then so we had like little snippets of getting access to the internet, and then we logged off and whatever. That's what's happening right now in humanity, is that, well, again, if anyone's suffering, they've got the computer with no access to the internet. So all we've got is the old files that don't help you right now because we're stepping into the new. So then it's like, okay, so where a lot of people are starting to come into is it's like, oh, I get little snippets of awarenesses, I get little ideas, I get little messages or whatever, guidances, but not all the time. I'm still in rumination, or I'm still, I'm not thinking about it, or, it's just like, whatever. It's just like, you'll know when you're in thinking or in the old processes because you will feel bad, and that's how you know. So then when you come back to the being, what happens is that you are then 100% connected to the internet, which is crazy because that's actually how we work now with computers. Now, if you look at what we do, if we're constantly downloading new information into our computers, actually we're leaving them in the cloud. So again, the cloud is almost like the universal consciousness where that sits up there and we get access to it at any time. But this is reality for humans. And this is why everyone is struggling with thinking and the thinking processes and anxiety and everything else, is because we've upgraded. Our minds are now able, well, it's always been able to, but the veil between us and the universe and the information is getting thinner and thinner and thinner. So again, we have complete connection to the internet now, without having to dial in. Sometimes if you want information, you got to sit there and you go, oh, but when you're in the being, it's a constant flow of new information. Now, you don't have to try and remember anything, because what happens, the mind is is amazing. The mind is so good, and it's got unlimited capacity to store information. The thing is that once it receives information, you can continually receive new information and new information and new information. What's happening when we're doing that is we're continually upgrading not only our minds, but our bodies as well, because our minds run our bodies. So again, our bodies are moving into this place where they're upgrading. And then all the information like that we can, again, there's unlimited information in the internet, in the universe. So the more we upgrade and get all that information, our lives are going to start to change and look different, which is, again, the analogy of in the next 5 years, lives are going to look different because everyone's going to start to get access to new information. When I started doing spiritual work, psychics and universe and all that sort of thing was weird. But now, look what's happening. We're all, I don't like the word waking up, but we're all getting access, I say getting access, but it was always there, but we've all upgraded. And it's like, why would we continually use the old files from generations, old generations, things that other people have told us, beliefs that we've picked up and all that sort of thing, past experiences that have trauma? Why would we want to take those with us into a brand new future? It just doesn't make sense. But particularly for business, it's really exciting because the way we do business is going to be so different. And the way that, like I'm seeing particularly with AI coming in, and the way technology is just advancing so quickly, the focus is on people, while all those other operational things, again, this is part of upgrading in all areas, is that all those mundane things are just going to be looked after while we look after each other.
Mm-hmm. I feel like circle and connection is going to be like the new wave too. That's where we're going. It feels very, very like I've been called to create women's circles and, you know, like face-to-face connection because of all that stuff being taken care of.
And that's where they'll be, because we're not in thinking, so we're not in trauma, past trauma or anything. So when we're with others, we are fully present. Our hearts are always so open when we're with each other. And then can you imagine when you've got more people together? Again, it's like connecting to how many other computers that are connecting to the internet. It's like a supercomputer all in one. And so everyone's just, again, like you can feel what kind of energy and what kind of experiences that's going to create by everyone being together, but also going in with, I call it an open mind of something different, like not what we've done before. And there is always, I always say, if we were meant to be incarnated by ourselves, we would have been.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're on your deathbed, it is about people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think about what you achieved. You don't think about how much money you made. It's all about your relationships and your connections. And so that's like, connection is really, like, this is what I found with this trip here. Connection, particularly because my sister is in and out of consciousness, like, if you don't have connection, you feel lost.
Mm-hmm.
Just to have a little smile from her every now and then because she can't talk. That connection, oh my God, I will take with me and tuck away with me when she goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I love listening to the conversation and being an observer of it. As somebody who is learning this, I would say as a fairly new student. I say that, and that I also would qualify that I bought my first book on ESP when I was like 12 years old. When I was a young child, I felt and identified with this thought that, am I the only one here that is real? Am I playing this game that everybody else has a role in, but in some way I feel very connected to, I would say, the universe, and I felt that way from the time that I was extremely young. And then I guess you say get into more thinking and then not nurture that connection. And now over the past, say, 20 years, it's been something that I've been so intrigued by, but have not spent a lot of time to curate and to not necessarily know how. And I really identified with what you were talking about. And I know that we brought this up in the previous session that we had. So if anybody missed that, then go ahead and take a look for that one as well, where we got into a conversation for 40 minutes about the being and stepping into the knowing, and then being able to take a moment and breathe, and the detail that you went into and the awakenings that we had, which was incredible. What I love is the direct relationship, I believe, to some of the teachings that we've all had, particularly as entrepreneurs, and some of the direction that we either received or still give ourselves when it comes to sit down and write out a plan, sit down and write some goals in order to get clarity, in order to make progress. This is often the advice and the tools that we lean on, which is to rechart the course. It is to do the work in that way. And the number of people that I know that are actively working on drafting what the future should look like, and then the dissonance between that and what you're encouraging us to do, to be in the being and to not think, but to connect and to pause, and how that is actually doing something, I think is going to be an incredible part of our conversation ongoingly. I know that that's something certainly that I am challenged by, even when you first started talking about it again today and said that the challenge of being in the being is that it looks like doing nothing. Right. And as someone who has been a self-programmed, productive person in pursuit, and who really does value things like work ethic and industriousness, that the definition that I previously have held with those things is not a full definition because of the productivity of what doing nothing looks like actually produces.
Can I just do a little exercise with you guys to show you what it actually is like to be in the quantum and see what that looks like from the being, and how actually so productive that actually is.
So is the quantum like the frequency, that energy that you're around? What I'm a little confused on
the quantum is always it's just like another word for the universe. It's like, you know,
okay.
When you go into like quantum physics is all of the basic elements of the universe. So when I talk about going into the quantum, you'll know once you've experienced it what I mean.
Okay.
Because I'm going to take you there. So again, it's not rocket science. If anyone's seen Stranger Things, you'll actually understand that she goes into the quantum. Yeah, which you know, that black space.
Okay. Yeah. Are my walls gonna start to breathe or pulse or anything like that?
No, because that's science fiction, or maybe not. No. Anyway, so what I'm going to get everyone to do, I'll get everyone just to close your eyes and just take a couple of nice deep breaths. So I'm already burping, so I'm shifting something for someone. Oh my God, what are you guys doing to me? Anyway, excuse those burping. Right, now close your eyes. Now I want you to see in your mind's eye and imagine that there's you sitting on a chair in a dark place, or a light place, whatever you feel like. But there's nothing around you except for you sitting in a chair. Now, what I'm going to get you to do, so it doesn't matter where you are, but it's like, it's not about where you are. It's actually about you sitting on the chair with nothing around you. So I want you to see that, and then I want you just to step back and watch yourself sitting in the chair in this place. And as you're stepping back and watching yourself sitting in this chair in this place, I want you just to stand there and watch yourself. And I'm going to give you guys just a minute just to watch yourself doing nothing, and we will check in a minute to see what you notice when you watch yourself sitting there doing nothing. So I'll just give you a minute just to watch that. And I just want you just to watch it. Don't think about it. Don't, just see yourself sitting there, and just, if it feels uncomfortable, let it feel uncomfortable. But I want you just to breathe nice deep breaths as you're watching. Don't try and move. Don't try and do anything. I just want you to watch like you're watching a movie. And just breathe nice deep breaths as you're watching. Now you can sit there for a little while. That's okay. I just want you to watch you sitting there. And then just keep breathing. All you've got to do is focus on breathing and watching. Breathe and watch. And keep telling yourself, breathe and watch, as you're sitting, watching yourself sitting there. And I'll give you a minute of doing that. Terry got interrupted.
Yes.
Just breathe and watch. Okay, I'll get you guys to come back to me. So Pam, what did you notice when you were breathing and watching?
That was really strange. So I watched myself in this Muskoka chair, and at first I'm just around the lake, but then, you know, everything was dark. And I found myself watching me just switching my legs, folding my legs, trying to stay still, but that's what I was seeing. I was fidgeting.
Ooh, no, I love that, because that's the essence of the quantum. So let me just explain why. Fidgeting's fine because it's still still giving you the ultimate message, which I'm trying to get you to see, right?
Yeah.
Again, the concept of being. So the concept of being is I'm sitting here still doing nothing, right? But what you've noticed is that doesn't stay like that for long. The way the universe works is that the universe is constantly moving and changing, even if we're just sitting here doing nothing. But what you notice is that by sitting there and doing nothing, you can't help but join in.
Mm-hmm.
Even the switching your legs or whatever is still, you are still doing something, even though you thought you were doing nothing.
Ah.
So what happens, and I'll give you, before we check in with everyone else, what happens is you can go into the quantum, because again, the quantum is just the space. That's what the quantum is. It's just a space. And you can bring yourself into any situation or whatever in the quantum, and then you just sit there and watch. It can't help but change by itself without you doing anything other than watching.
Wow.
So if you're sitting there and you're going, oh, I'm stuck. Okay, sit there and watch yourself be stuck. Then it shows you like a movie what happens, and you're not doing it, you're not thinking it, because you're just watching. And it's amazing. Like, again, the quantum is unlimited, so it's amazing what happens. So it's actually really cool to keep doing that. The important thing is to keep breathing as you're watching and focusing on watching and breathing. Sometimes you have to keep telling yourself to do that, because sometimes, especially if it looks like you're stuck and you get panicky, watch and breathe, watch and breathe, watch and breathe. The way the universe works is it will always change. It's when we get in the way and we try and do something against the universe that we get more stuck. Because again, what uses this persists.
Yeah.
If you watch yourself, it's like my sister's wife. She's like, I can't let myself break down when she dies. And I said, darling, if you try and stop yourself from breaking down, it will feel worse than if you let yourself break down. And I said, you need to trust me. If you let yourself break down, it'll only be for a moment, and then it'll be gone. Because the natural flow of the universe is it always changes. We're the ones that stop it from changing. Mm-hmm. So Terry, what did you see? I know you got interrupted.
Oh, well, I have a little quantum cat who has to always be where I'm meditating. What did I see? As the observer, it was just like luminous light, expansive. And then what changed was the perspective. So it went from sideways, seeing myself, to then like a spotlight. And the quantum for me is always like white light instead of the void of dark light.
Yes.
The perspective changed from the side and it was expansive.
So the most important thing to note for everyone is can you see that you didn't do that, it did it by itself?
Yes.
This is how the real life works and the real world works, is, because we've all been taught, got to make things happen, blah, 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 but actually a lot of things happen by themselves.
I just want to comment too, Kim, that when I was in Connected after my Kundalini awakening, it was a month-long process. I was so tapped in at that time that it's been when it started to fade, it's been that like to not be in the mind of the thinking mind it's like remembering what I already knew. You have to, because when you've been in that space for so long, you're so close to the veil that if you would just, you can't stay here like that. Back then in 2006. So now being in the consciousness and knowing that I experienced that, it's unlearning. Having to deprogram all the time to go into a place of like, oh yes, we're supposed to surrender. Oh yes, we're going back to to being the observer.
Yeah. Or you can, again, because you can see a lot of it still in your head.
Yeah.
When you're in being, you're not in your head. So you can be in being, and it's really like an embodiment of being, which helps you to, because there's no meaning around being other than being.
Yeah, I get it.
It's so crazy. I know. Again, like if this is the thing where we talk about shifts in consciousness, right? So if you said that to someone who wasn't at that level of consciousness, they would go, I don't understand. But again, you understand. We understand what we're talking about, even though there's no meaning about it.
Yes, I understand, because I've been there. It's not a thought process, it's a vibration.
Yes. So you know what? When you go, I have to surrender, that's a thought.
Right.
That's why it doesn't feel as good as the being. Got it? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah. Michelle, did you have a little experience in the quantum?
I did. So what I saw at the beginning, to follow the visual prompt, was to imagine darkness and me sitting there in a chair, and then immediately that shifted to me being a little bit in the distance and not photographically me from behind, but more of like an animation type photograph of me, and there was a door of light coming towards it, and I stopped that because I started thinking I'm to be looking at myself sitting in a chair. And so then I saw myself, the photographic version of me from behind my head, and then that didn't persist, and so I started to let that go, and it did the same thing, where now it turned into a little bit of an animation, but all around me was like drops of light and moving light, and it felt something like the quantum was looking at me to see if I was really letting it. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the feeling. It was interesting that I was fighting the visualization that was naturally happening to see it the way, right.
And you can feel, again, this is the thing, is your feelings will always tell you, and it's called old and new, not right or wrong, good or bad, just old and new. As soon as you go into thinking, which is old, you'll start to feel bad. So sometimes, like, you don't realize that you're thinking, but your feelings will tell you.
Right.
Yeah, it's easy. It's so easy.
That was super powerful, though, because it even says that the way that I physically think that I am going, that's not what I look like, because this is all just whatever.
And you did not make that up.
No.
So the other thing too is that, let's just say, like, if you're thinking about your business, right, and then you go, I'm thinking it's not really the word, but anyway, looking at your business, you can actually bring your situation, so you can bring situations into the quantum and then sit there and watch them, and it is the best, like, because it does its own thing, and you watch it, because you've watched it, and again, some level, you know how you guys have seen some kind of, things, and then it doesn't really make sense or whatever, but your knowing kicks in, and you're like, I know that means something, but I don't need to really know what that is. And so then when you see yourself in your business, and it shows you this movie in the quantum, you can't unsee that then. You can't unsee what you've seen, and through neuroplasticity, it's already rewritten your head. So you never go backwards, you're always going forwards when you play in the quantum. You're going into the new, because again, it doesn't make sense, but the information that you continually get. And the thing is, again, your feelings will tell you whether you have to sit there and keep watching, or if it's, that feeling of, oh no, that's it, that's enough. Or if it's like, oh no, let me keep watching. Because then if you go into watching it and it stops or whatever, and you've got that calm, peaceful feeling, it's like, that means that the movie's done for now, until you have another shift in consciousness. But if you go, no, I want to do more and I want to find out what else, that's when you go into thinking, and you're actually using old consciousness to find out or to create, I don't know, again, it just doesn't work. It doesn't feel good, it doesn't work, and it's just not really what going into quantum's all about. So Patricia, I don't know if you want to share your experience with us.
All I kept seeing, so I'm sitting my living room, and there's two chairs there, and all I kept seeing is me looking at me, weird.
Yeah, cool.
So you're like your eyes
And then
are closed,
what did you notice?
I just noticed stillness. I didn't notice like there's no, just stillness.
Yeah, cool. And you'll notice when you notice the stillness, like again, if you keep looking at it, and you guys can keep looking at your quantum journey, you'll notice more things, even though it's not doing anything different. You've actually get new awarenesses around, because again, your sensing and your knowing will tell you more information. So you guys can really play with this and have a really great time, particularly from a business perspective. It's actually really fun to play in the quantum. It just takes you on so many different levels of journeys and different insights to, again, what we call the new, which it kind of blows your mind as to what you're seeing, but your gut understands it, but your head doesn't really understand it, because your gut understands it. So we've moved on from your head understanding it, then your gut understanding it, to your gut understanding it, and your head just going, okay, I can feel you know what you're talking about, so I'm good. Like you won't go into that thinking. And then what happens is, because you've gone into that place in your mind, and we always say when we work with the universe, if it exists in here, it exists in some level of reality, right? If we've seen it, what you'll find is you've seen it, so it now becomes what I call a new screensaver in your computer, because it's there. So your frequency and vibration is in alignment with the thing that you've seen, that you don't know what it's all about, but the universe is going to bring you the things that are related to the thing you've seen.
Yeah.
And your RA, because you've got your reticular activating system in your head, your RAS, so that will be clued in to anything, and you'll start to find that you'll see things that are linked to your quantum journey and your quantum life, and then you'll go, how is that possible when it was all in my head?
I love that you just used that example. That landed home in another way for me, because studying the reticular activating system, the way that you put out a bid into the universe and then you see what that response is like, right? This is something that children do. I'm explaining this for anybody watching that doesn't know what a reticular activating system is. So children do this all the time. They send out a bid, it's a try, and they wait and they see what happens. Who responds to me? Who's going to allow me to do this? If I play this way, what's going to happen? And I so identify with that in our progress as we learn as humans. You just landed for me that I am like a 4-year-old in this expression and in this experimentation. And that delights me and makes me so much more excited to play and gives me so much more permission to do so. So thank you so much for that. That alone,
Thank you.
yes, was
It's like what I call, the yellow car. If you say, I want to see a yellow car, then you let it go. Your reticular activating system will show you a yellow car. Then when you're pregnant, you then see lots of pregnant women. When you buy a car, you then see the same car, which you've never seen them before. Now, it doesn't mean they didn't exist. It's just because your mind has brought them into your awareness. So let's just say we're playing in the quantum and we're seeing random stuff, right? Now, who's to say that these things that we're moving into, the new, which is new dimensional realities existing on this planet, they already exist. We just can't see them, right?
Right. So listen, who has experienced deja vu, for example?
Oh,
right? Like deja vu. You've been there before. I think I've been here before. Yeah.
But this is where, let's just say when we talk about the world, the physicality of the world and how the world works, right? And even if you talk about money, right? Money, business, all that sort of thing. Everything's so solid and so physical, if I can't see it, it doesn't exist or whatever. The thing is that when you're playing in the quantum, what it actually helps you to do is it helps you to see things that didn't exist before, but that already exists in reality. The thing is because our consciousness, it's like, again, it's like seeing something new that was always there, but we couldn't see it before.
Yeah.
So this says that all possibilities exist in reality. So let's just say the things that we think, like if you look at your phone, look at the table or whatever, okay, you think that it's solid and you think it's that, but once you start to see things in the quantum from a different understanding, we will, in reality, start to see life as completely different. Now, once you've seen it and you've experienced it, you can't unsee and unexperience it. It's like I've got a neighbour who lives across the road, and her background has been full of trauma. So all she sees is people attacking her and throwing rocks at her house. And she's got cameras everywhere. And she messages me every 5 minutes telling me that someone's coming to get her and everything else. She lives across the road from me. Now, I have no awareness of this. I don't have cameras. I don't see these things. So again, doesn't mean they don't exist, but they don't exist in my reality.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then if we're moving into a place where alternate realities exist. And I don't know about you, but I'm signing up for those.
Mm.
Because that's what Ascension's all about, is being able to experience different realities without having to die. And different incarnations without actually having to die. So I don't know about you guys, I'm signing up for it, and I'm having fun with it all, because that's why we're here. And you know what the best part is? We do it together.
Mm. I love it, Kim. I'm so excited. I'm so grateful for this conversation. I'm so excited for our next conversation, and really would love to look forward to doing an exercise that you mentioned before about how to play forward about possibilities for your business, and to do that visualization in the quantum, to do one of those exercises on our next call, so that we can experience it together. I'll attempt to muddle through as the 4-year-old that I am, perhaps, between now and then, but to be able to do something like that is unbelievably exciting. And then to simply further the conversation and change the perspective and the way that we interpret how to participate more in the being, and how important that is, and what type of access that gives us. I'm so deeply appreciative for this education and for the past 45 minutes that we've spent on this call together. So I'd like to say thank you on behalf of everybody here, and encourage anyone who's watching, if you're not part of She the Mighty, then to come and check us out. But also for everyone to take a look and find Kim on Facebook and follow her. She does incredible readings and all kinds of things on her Facebook page. We feel so blessed to have her as the resident psychic here on She the Mighty, and we are so excited about the things that are to come in the coming months. Thank you to the ladies that were able to jump in and be part of this incredible conversation this evening, and we really look forward to next time. So Kim, once again, thank you so much for being here.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for playing.
Yeah.
It's fun, right? Like, so fun, so exciting, and like, can you feel the buzz of what's to come is out of this world. So, and I want that for everyone. So we'll see you soon.
Okay.
Love you guys.
Okay,
Take care.